Well, good morning, folks. Welcome back to the farm. I just come home from a round trip to Calgary. What a beautiful drive that was. I've got a bit of a funny story to tell about my journey down there. So when I left home here, and it was Sunday, just after lunch on Sunday, I left here, and I elected to take Highway 43 to Edmonton, and then get onto Highway 2 to Red Deer to Calgary, take that way. Now, arguably, maybe that's a little bit further, but time-wise really is the same, and it's a well-lit highway, less chance of hitting an animal, as opposed to, say, taking the Cowboy Trail, Highway 22 from Mayerthorpe down. That's a good place to get hit by a deer, speeding ticket, some unnecessary thing unfold during the trip down. So I was like, you know what? Yeah, I'm gonna take Highway 2 all the way from Edmonton and then down that way. Well, anyways, by the time I got down to right around Ponoka, actually, which is just off of Highway 2, I was starting to feel pretty hungry, but I also had to go to the bathroom really bad because I've driven all the way from Beaver Lodge to Ponoka by this time. Like that's a long haul in and of itself. So I'm thinking to myself, well, the last time I was in Ponoka, I had an absolutely terrible cup of coffee from the Tim Hortons. I probably, I owe Ponoka nothing. I probably shouldn't stop here at all. But my bladder was saying like you gotta go right now. And I've passed the rest stop already. I've kind of made my bed here. Like if I'm in for it, unless I'm pulling over on the side of Highway 2 and taking my life in my own hands to go pee on the side of the highway. So, okay, well, I don't want to stop in Ponoka and go pee and then stop in Red Deer and get something to eat, right? That doesn't make a lot of sense. So I elect, you know what? I'm gonna give Ponoka. I'm gonna give it a second chance. What could I possibly eat in Ponoka that won't give me food poisoning? So the first thing that comes to mind is KFC. Now you could tell right then and there that I'm making bad life choices, and it goes downhill from here, right? So I say, okay, well, I'm gonna go get some KFC in Ponoka, and I'm gonna go to the bathroom. And I'm gonna get back on the highway and zoom the rest of the way to Calgary. It's gonna be fantastic, right? Well, I plug KFC into the GPS, take a right at the Petrocan once I hit Ponoka, and it takes me through an industrial park, and I'm like weaving my way through this industrial park, and I thought, what an odd place for a KFC. But sure enough, I pop out over by the Super 8, and what do you know? There is a KFC there. But it's abandoned. Like, it's empty. It's shut down. No chicken tonight. So that's bad news, bears. No chicken. What am I going to do? But I'm hungry. I got to pee. I'm not getting out. If you thought I wasn't getting out on Highway 2 to take my life in my own hands, to take a pee, I am not getting out behind an abandoned KFC to pee, because that's where a guy gets stabbed. Just not going to happen. So I think, I don't want to go back to that A&W back on the highway, because that's just awful food, right? Like KFC's any better, of course. Well, I wonder where the nearest McDonald's is. So I asked Siri on my phone, hey, where's the nearest McDonald's? And it tells me it's in Red Deer. And I think, well, that's impossible, but we're just going to hop in the truck and we're going to drive around and we're going to see what we can see as quickly as possible. First thing that I see, set of golden arches, McDonald's. Okay, perfect. Let's run in there and we can take care of both pieces of business at once. Get back on the highway. So I run into McDonald's and I'm running because I've got to pee really bad, and I'm like sweating, and it's extra salty, because I got to pee so bad. Run in there and I'm like doing that, what is that, Lamaze breathing that the ladies do before they're about to give birth. Anyways, I get in there and I grab the door handle for the bathroom, and I'm just like, door's locked. And I'm just like, oh no, anyways, I elected I'm going to go out behind the McDonald's and pee on the milk crates, because that's somehow safer than peeing behind the abandoned KFC. Again, not making good life choices at this point. But lo and behold, behind me, I hear this click, 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 and the door of the bathroom unlocks and opens. And what perfect timing. Well, what do you know? Out steps the biggest Hutterite man I have ever seen in my entire life. He's 6'8", 400 pounds. Every bit of it, probably, right? And I was, perfect timing, right? We slide past each other. I go in there and yeah, like, I mean, this is like extreme home makeover. Like, a renovation, a remodeling is not enough. Like, this doesn't do justice to explain what that man did to that bathroom. So, and it's hard to articulate this without being crude, but I think that fella ate 3 or 4 corn on the cobs and then shot them all out at once. That's the easiest way to say it. Like, machine gunned them out. And you know, when things hit the water and then they just like, yeah, it looked like shitty corn had been cannonballed into the toilet bowl and then had just like, whoosh, like tsunamied into that bathroom. So that was enough. That was enough to make a guy lose his appetite. Right there. Anyways, I leave. Going. Never mind peeing. Never mind eating at this point. I sort that business out elsewhere, right? I make my way to Calgary. And when I get to the hotel, I thought, you know what? That's actually kind of a funny story. I'm going to make a TikTok about this story, and I'm going to put it on the internet for all to see. Well, this is the moral of the story, is because I thought, okay, well, this, you know, how to write gentleman, like, there's no chance this fella, you know, late 50s probably, living on the colony, there's no chance this fella has TikTok, right? I can safely say this without like embarrassing anybody or you know, I really have some artistic license. I can even embellish the story a little bit. So I was pretty well, I had no holds barred when I told that story on TikTok. I just laid it all out there. What do you know? 30,000 people saw that video. One of whom being that gentleman from the McDonald's in Ponoka, and he reached out to me, and boy, that was embarrassing actually. That was at least like, you're so full of shit, your eyes are brown, but that was pretty funny. He says, like, yeah, it was pretty funny, but maybe lay off the cream corn for a bit. Anyways, I'm glad to be home, glad to be off the road, got to sleep in my own bed. No matter how uncomfortable it is, it's my bed. Get to see the wife and the kids again. Do some farming. Much better. Much, much better than city life. So, on that note, I'm going to drive to Grand Prairie and go to work for the day. So, hope you all have a fantastic day. We'll see you tomorrow.